Ladies and gentlemen, before we start the video, it's time to extend. That's right, I'm going to give this in every single video so people know how to do it. So what you want to do, guys, is you want to log into here, click that My Page as a user, go down here to this extend button and click this and get yourself back into the extension mode. That way, guys, you'll get yourself in and you will not be missing out on any codes in the future. As you can see, they're all down here. So this is how you get your codes, guys. You just got to log in, extend that button, and get yourself back in here and get yourself back into the program and don't miss out any codes. Thank you so much for supporting, guys. Continuing supporting. Thank you for extending. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the video. Take care. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another SLA video. That's right, this is how everybody should be greeted when they turn the game on. Forget the whole outfit Soren, we want this Soren every single time. And while you're greeted with her and you're distracted, I'm going to take your attention for a couple seconds away here and talk a little bit about what the video is about. And that's going to be Yuki, the second idol collab we're going to discuss. Now, if you watched or have not watched the previous video about Yuki, whether you should summon for her, what she brings to the table, our testing results, we'll go over that in a quick little summary before we move on. But at the same time, we're going to talk about all the skills, rotations, gear, everything you want to put on her and what makes her special and why you should probably summon for her. So here's how we're going to start this. All right, we're going to start off with the testing. Number one question everyone's going to ask and continues to ask is, Payne, I haven't seen your videos. What do I do? First off, shame on you. Go like, subscribe, hit that notification. Make sure you guys join the channel. We got a ton of content coming your way. And as always, make sure you hit that support button. Get yourself into the support program before it's over, guys. If it does end before you sign up, you're going to miss out on codes. And right now, for everybody else, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, it's time to extend. If you have been supporting me, big shout out to you. Make sure you extend or you will not be getting codes. I want to say shout out to my top 10. BW Panda 11, killing it, staying strong. J Stone, my man, my G, I love you, bro. Taco, love lemons in my taco. It's actually lime though, should be limes always. Shout out to Taco, 2640, Telio 101, Sod Patches, 3175, which is Cap, 077, and one of you guys is Kaiser somewhere, I swear to God. One of you guys gotta be. 0640, I think Dingus actually is one of you guys. So Dingus, shout out to you as well too. Shout out to everybody here. My top 10 has been staying strong. Love you guys, and all the way down to the last 4,915. Guys, codes are not available just yet. I'm hoping that with this pre-recorded video being done, codes will drop tomorrow. So thank you again for sticking around and always supporting your boy. I love you guys. OG content creator for this damn game, and I'm proud of it. All right, let's keep going here. So Yuki, can't you see? So what you guys want essentially is you don't want to replace Essel. All right, she will take some spots from Essel where Essel is weak. I'm going to talk about those spots. Okay, so what Yuki brings to the table is a lot of versatility, a lot of damage for a breaker, and quick breaking abilities. Now, places that don't have a break bar, Yuki is better than Essel. No question about it. Essel's really shines on two reasons. Number one, for defense pen bosses, usually guild bosses. But number two, she also shines in where you can do a break bar and stack a ton of her prey of the week. If there's no break bar, Yuki's better. No question about it. She's just way better. We'll talk about reasons why, right? The second thing you want to do is when you bring in a character where you want more DPS from your fire units, specifically from that unit itself, Yuki thrives. So she's not necessarily replacing Essel in all content, but she is in some content, okay? But they do complement each other really well. So let's talk a little bit about Yuki and everything that she's all about, and then we're going to discuss a little further of what you should do. So first off, you guys can see here, this is the character. She is an HP-based breaker. If you know anything about HP-based breakers, they usually do a ton of damage, especially Goto and her, right? So let's talk a little bit about all the gear and everything you want to put. So first off, gear, very straightforward, guys. You want to put Desire or Greed, whatever you need. Whatever one makes more sense. For the most part, fire has a lot of elemental damage added. I feel like Desire has a little bit more diminishing return, but in some cases, if somebody else has Greed already, you definitely want to use Desire anyways in order to complement her. But you always want to go with HP as your main stat, of course. Crit hit rate, crit hit damage is going to be your main two stats there. And then, of course, if you are looking for additional stats right here, you guys can see what your artifacts provide. In some cases, you're going to want defense penetration over damage increase. In some cases, you're going to want damage increase over defense penetration. So nonetheless, she's great for that. MP, no issues. Zero issues. Now, why is she special? What makes her a good character? Let's talk about that first before we go anywhere else. So it's mostly her passives. Her passives work really, really well. So number one, the forever buff that every idol has makes them better than most other units in dungeons and encores. So encores and instant dungeons, they're always going to be better because they give you the bonus buff. Also, whenever she does a successful, or any ally does a successful break into the break state, it increases the duration for 3 seconds. So that's amazing. And then, of course, you have abilities to do different things to give different buffs. We're going to talk all about that real quick. So first off, Tempo increases max HP by 0.5%, increases shouting kick damage by 0.5%, stacking up to 15 times. So pretty decent buff for her. Full burst. Amp Crash and Rising Spin Kick changes to Crescendo Scream and Unlimited Shout, resetting their cooldowns, increases the break effectiveness of these skills, increases the damage the skills do, increases max HP by 10%, also providing you gaining super armor while the effect is active. While the effect is active, the tempo effect is removed and cannot be activated. So one or the other will be activated. You'll of course want full burst, it's better. All right, at A1. Full burst gauge charge rate increases by 100%, which means full burst is going to happen more often, which means these skills are going to do more. And then at the same time, when you do these skills, it activates the distortion effect on the target. When kill the stage hits, it activates the breakdown effect. So here's what makes her really good at A1. Remember, if you get an A0, you get an A1 for free from the collab battle pass. Everybody does, right? So distortion increases damage taken by 3% when the effect has stacked the maximum number of times it does the breakdown effect. So you can stack it 3 times, giving you 9% more damage. But when that's over, you want the breakdown effect. This is actually what you're aiming for. You can see he goes from distress to complete breakdown. Increases damage by the 15%, increases fire damage by 20%. The distortion effect is removed and cannot be activated while this effect is active. So you can only have one at a time, which makes sense because this leads into this and it lasts for 20 seconds. This effect is incredible. It's incredible. So unlike Prayer of the Week, which Prayer of the Week does a lot more when it's fully stacked, this doesn't rely RNG. This doesn't rely on any stacking. The moment you do this, bam, everybody's just doing more damage. Pretty straightforward things, right? And it's a really, really effective buff. At A2, she has even better breaking effectiveness by 20%. A3, the full burst effect is enhanced and the kill stage effective is enhanced, giving you guys more break damage. You can see 50% by shouting kick. You guys can see shouting kick damage increases, and then the max HP increases as well. And then the charge gauge goes up by 20%, giving the super armor, and of course tempo is gone. Now you can see it's a different icon, right? No, it's the same icon, sorry. Same icon, I meant to say. Same icon, but different effects. And the duration is the same, just everything else in terms of its effectiveness goes up. Now, Afterglow increases damage dealt to targets in break state by 12%. This A3 is huge, right? Because you can see here, effective active. So using kill the stage effect activates the Afterglow effect on the entire team. So everybody gets this. Increases damage dealt to the break target by 12%. Increases basic skill and ultimate damage by 15%. Increases critical hit damage by 15%. This is massive, guys. Massive. So again, complementary to Essel. Right? Now, Essel gives more defense penetration, but what Yuki gives is fire team members have fire damage increased by 5% for every ally in the team. This includes guild boss. If you have 6 of them, everybody, it's 5% for the all 6 members, right? So keep that in mind. All right, now distortion over here, the biggest difference here is the stacks are, or the percentage is a little higher. The stacks are the same. Duration is 15%, it's 15 seconds. But here on this one, the amount goes up on breakdown to 20% instead of 15, from 20 to 25, but the duration, it goes from 20 seconds to 30 seconds. So you're doing a lot more. And then of course, Afterglow also gives you more of everything for 30 seconds. So overall, guys, an incredibly good unit. Very, very good unit. And quite honestly, on my free to play, I haven't summoned for her because she's only A1. I might actually push all of them to A5. I might. She's that good. She's that good, okay? Now, we've talked about artifacts. Let's talk about cores. Now, for cores, she does a ton of core damage, guys. So you absolutely want to give her the maximum core damage one that you can. So the one you want to work with is this one here. All right, so she doesn't need MP consumption reduction. You ideally want to give her either crit rate if she needs it, crit damage if she needs it, or damage increase or defense pen. That's what you really want for that one. Over here, you can give her because she's HP scaling, you can give her whatever stat you need with additional defense. And then down here, you definitely want to give her additional HP and then whatever stat you're looking for. And this is still probably the best one for her, to be quite honest. So I'm not too worried about that part of it. But at the end of the day, she is a beast. And then her weapon over here, the user's fire damage increases by 30% for 15 seconds when the full burst effect is active. So you can see a lot of fire damage coming through. And that's what the fire team is kind of made for, right? All right, so let's go over the skill rotation for her and how you want to function with skills. Okay, so right over here, we can see the skill guide. She is an easy unit to play. Like super easy unit to play. So basic skill 1 into core attack, basic skill 2 into core attack, ultimate skill to basic skill 2, core attack, basic skill 1. Very easy gameplay. So let's jump in here and show you guys just a quick little game mode of how she functions. And you're gonna see how quick she breaks, right? If you take Essel's breaking abilities, compare it to hers, it's almost night and day. So we'll do a quick forest here. We'll do a 20. So you guys, again, here's Essel, right? We're gonna take Essel out. We're going to take, and I mean, if you've played with Essel, you already know how weak her break abilities are. In this fight, there's only one break bar. So that's another thing with Essel. If you only have one break bar, it sucks. it doesn't really do much for you, right? So you definitely want to have, use Essel in places where there are multiple break bars, and then she shines a lot more, right? In Deimos, for example, which she has a lot more of. So over here, we're going to jump in 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's just core attack after core attack after core attack after core attack after, like, it's just, look how fast she broke that, right? With this, you would have taken forever to get to that point. So this is what makes her so damn good. You guys can see distortion's already up on there, right? So at this point, you're just rocking and rolling. Okay, so that's kind of what makes her really, really good. And you absolutely want to have a unit like this on a fire team. Now, where she's going to shine the most? Why do you want to summon for her? Where is she going to make the biggest impact for you? So the biggest impact she's going to have, guys, in this game for you is going to be in GB. Guild Boss is going to be her place to shine, right? And because she shines so much in Guild Boss, you're going to see that your Guild Boss scores are going to skyrocket. Not to mention, she also has herself a ton of damage. So I'm going to show you guys my testing numbers real quick from the initial test that we did. And you'll see that because of all the damage she does, you're going to be able to use this girl to rack up a lot of that. So Essel will not have anywhere near the same amount of damage as her, but Yuki brings in a ton of damage. Now, again, you guys can see her debuff is currently not on, and when it is on, you'll notice a much bigger difference. You absolutely want to keep this debuff on the opponent. There it is. There's the distortion one, right? 3 stacks. There it is right there. Now everybody does a lot more damage, including her. So make sure, guys, you take a look at that, see how this works. Now, I'm not properly geared. I would have actually used, preferred to use, what's his name? Greed on this fight, to be honest. Probably would have been better, not Desire, but hey, we're gonna use it anyways, and we'll show you guys how it works. All right, so let's go and do this. Here's another bar. Yeah, ideally I bring Wu for this fight, to be honest, and I just ripped through this fight without even having to deal with the shield, but hey, here we are. We're doing this anyways, right? Again, making sure the debuff stays up. There it is. We're gonna go ahead and do this now, and that's the beauty of this girl. She just brings so much damn damage to this fight, man. It's crazy. All right, here we go. Going in the middle. Yuki coming through. And yeah, as long as these debuffs stay up on the Guild Boss, you're just going to be doing insane amounts of damage with her and everybody else on this team. So again, guys, no brainer for this one, in my opinion. If you want to succeed in Guild Boss, if you want to do better in POD, go for her. If you have an Essel at A5, do you need her? Not necessarily. I mean, it depends what you want to do with your content, right? If you really care about POD, if you really care about Guild Boss, then, I mean, again, like I always say, it's a no-brainer for these girls because they bring so much to the table as units that you want to have around, and they'll just amplify everything you do. They just make things better, right? So these collab units, I have to say, are honestly quite impressive. They're not replacing anybody. They're just complementing everybody. The only one that really has any form of replacement, as I said from day one, has been Mini, because everyone in Dark is so damn old, and I'm guaranteeing Mini will be replaced by Sung and Hwan. But for these two other ones, they're not meant to be replacements, they're meant to be complements, and they are absolutely doing that. So for Yuki, it's up to you guys. Great unit, amazing, brings nothing but bonuses to your team, makes the fire team stronger than they ever were, and will definitely be replacing Essel in some content, but not all content, and is definitely worth the summon. But whether you want to do that or not is totally up to you. All right, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe, notifications on. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.